So, day three of our time in Florida, Politic365 Voice Your Vote campus tour. Today we were at an incredibly important historically black college and university system member, Florida Memorial, and they are the home of the Negro National Anthem. It's a campus that is now located near Miami, but originally was actually in the St. Augustine area. I learned today that part of the original campus was a plantation, and that because of extreme clashes with white supremacist organizations in 1968 for the safety and security of students, the campus was relocated to the Miami area, and that it was a welcoming and transformative experience that allowed them to grow and do the things that they're doing today. So, amazing history, powerful history, and because poetic justice does exist, they're actually going to reopen the campus at St. Augustine as well. So there will be two Florida Memorial University campuses in Florida, which is great. Today we had an incredibly dynamic discussion, and we were amazingly well received and attended to. We had a number of elected officials that were present who I believe we were able to interview each of them, so I will not recap what they talked about. Some new things that came up. I mean, obviously we talked about jobs and the economy and education, the DREAM Act, immigration, but we had specific questions about entrepreneurship in terms of access to capital, in terms of the kinds of investments that people want to make in their community, and whether or not the private capital lending system allows people to create things like performing arts centers in the inner city. That was an amazing and wonderful discussion to have. A number of sort of hot button issues were brought up, including a woman's right to choose, but in the context also of a moral discussion about public policy and the role of religion in public policy. And questions were flat out asked about whether or not it's at all acceptable to have any kind of religious, moral, ethical standard applied into public policy when we don't share a common religion, when we have different takes on, organized religion, or even the fact is that there's a growing population of Americans that are atheists and agnostics and non-worshippers and non-believers. So that in addition to having Muslims and Buddhists and Hindus, and Catholics and Protestants and Orthodox Jews and Reform Jews, etc., we have a changing secular dynamic in the country. So to have that conversation was powerful. We obviously talked about some really, really key pivotal action steps beyond simply registering to vote, but how to be more informed about down ballot issues, and how to take that education and turn it into advocacy, and how to be the squeaky wheel that gets the grease. And again, I had a good conversation with a number of people that are interested in running for office, which is encouraging to me, because I think that in our political landscape, when especially in campaigns like this one, where there are so many negative personal attacks, it's hard for folks to imagine themselves being in public life and being subject to those attacks and making their family subject to those attacks. But the fact is that despite that negative environment, despite the venom that is traded in campaign seasons like this one, people were anxious to find out about how they could run for public office, and a number of young people felt as though all they needed to know was, where are the mentors, where are the resources, where's the knowledge for me to do this work. So that was powerful, that was inspirational. The discussion was, I think, probably our most energized discussion thus far. I mean, there were applause breaks in the middle of people's commentary, and it was a very memorable experience. And the catalog and continuum of young people that we've seen have proven to us that despite rhetoric that millennials are out for self and that they're only interested in graduating into high salary positions and fancy titles and high power and high prestige, we've had a lot of conversations with people that are devoted to service and social justice, and they want to be able to do that. They want that mechanism. So that was it, and that's day 3, and it continues. So thank you very much. Politic365, voice your vote.